Hello and welcome to the Long Island Weather Report. March definitely came in, after being warm. It came roaring in like a lion later today into this evening. Temperatures are dropping, and we had also some strong winds too. Mount Holly actually issued a wind advisory because of it. You see the cold front there slowly moving offshore there, and there's still some rain actually out over the. Let's see, just offshore here. You can see a little bit of rain, but that's not going to be getting to us at all. This front will be moving slowly. Looking at our weather map, you can see there's that big Arctic high pressure that's going to be building in and bringing us some much colder weather for a couple of days before it gets mild again. I'm just going to go over the rest of this weekend in this weather report. And right off the bat, we had some interesting clouds, just as I expected. When the front passed, we had some really interesting looking clouds in the sky. And I took some pictures of them. Really interesting looking clouds. Look at these. Really interesting. Some mid-level clouds there. Altocumulus. You can see there. Very nice looking clouds. Really cool. Really beautiful, actually. So, yeah, we had some altocumulus and even some AC Castellanus, too. And then this evening, Castellanus is this type of cloud here. So what then the cold front was coming through. We had some really interesting clouds. And then tonight, the skies have cleared out mostly. You can see here's the moon, crescent moon, and Venus. So let's go look at what we have going on outside right now. Let's go to the weather and hazards map, and you can see the temperatures have dropped quite a ways. We went from 60 to 30. In fact, in the alley, it got up to 63 around noon in the alley. I guess most of the other areas on Long Island didn't report that, but the city did get very warm, as well as New Jersey. We didn't get a sea breeze here, so of course we were pretty warm. So high of 54 and a low of 30. The 30 is the current temperature, is the low, obviously, looking at the day at Islip, you could see there was a south wind. Looks like they did have a sea breeze, so southwest winds. We never really got that here in Mineola. And then the winds came roaring in, gusts over 40 miles an hour at the front, around quarter to 4 in the afternoon when that front came through. It was right around 3:30 that it came through, and you can see these strong winds, and the temperatures really started to drop very rapidly, and it's getting much colder tonight. And you can see the big drop in temperatures there at Islip. And we'll look at Farmingdale and see if Farmingdale got up to 55. So similar deal there, but in the alley we were up in the 60s, along with LaGuardia, which got up to 64, and there were even some record highs. JFK actually had a record high, so it seemed like the further west you were, the more, even at JFK, they got all the way up to 67 today, and that was a record high. So if we look at the record, there should be a record event report here. Yep, there is for JFK. Record high temperature at JFK today, high of 67. This breaks the old record of 61 degrees. Smashed it by quite a lot, set in 2017. So JFK apparently had no sea breeze, apparently, which is kind of interesting, because usually JFK gets a sea breeze. They had a wind gust up to 46 miles an hour. So, yeah, there was some pretty strong winds with this front came through. 46 mile an hour wind gust there around 4 o'clock. And you can see here, yeah, it looks like there was a sea breeze. But then when the wind, actually what happens is there was a sea breeze, and then when the front actually came through, it bumped the temperature up really quick. So it went from 55 at 1:40 all the way up by 2:09. It was back up to 67 when the wind shifted to the west. And then the temperature, there was a little bit of warmth right ahead of the cold front that actually did get to JFK. That's kind of interesting, but we never got that breeze here. That alley was warm, and I had to put the air conditioner on, of course, in order to sleep last night. 56 miles an hour with a wind gust at Stony Brook. So, yeah, very warm day, and some pretty strong winds, too. Could have used a wind advisory in our area, but only Mount Holly issued one, as always. Upton did not. So you can see the difference here. Mid-50s on the South Shore and most of Suffolk County, but then as you got into the North Shore, the northern part of Nassau County, this is where we got into the 60s, so 63 in Hicksville. So you could see where the sea breeze had set up, and the further west you were, less of a sea breeze. 64 at LaGuardia, 64 at Central Park, and let's see how New Jersey did. Even warmer, 68 in Toms River, almost 70 degrees there. That is unbelievably warm. and well above normal for the day. So if we look at today's climate report from Islip, high of 53, low of 41, 11 degrees above normal for the day, and we'll go ahead and we'll look at Central Park as well, high of 64, low of 45, 16 degrees above normal for the day. And I'm just curious if any records were broken out of the Mount Holly office. I don't see any record events here, so it does not look like there is a record events. But there was a wildfire. This is a picture of it right here, a pretty big one in southwestern New Jersey. It's in the marshes of Delaware Bay, so not quite it's more like a brush fire, I guess. So we'll talk about that stuff. Yes, meteorological winter's over. We'll talk about that tomorrow night. But it was remarkably dry, as they said. So very unusual to see this very dry. Let's see if there were any event reports. I'm just really curious. What did Atlantic City get to today? High of 68, 19 degrees above normal for the high there. That's just incredible. It's ridiculous. But things are getting colder now. Front's moving through. Temperatures are dropping. So, and again, this is that high pressure moving in. So let's talk about what the weather's going to be like tomorrow. We'll first start with the HRRR here. And obviously, there won't be any precipitation. Not even going to show that part. We'll just show the Arctic air crashing in here, the dew points dropping down to the single digits to perhaps even below zero. The core of it still stays over New England, north New England, but it still gets pretty cold. And then it starts to die off a little bit as the winds will start to die off as we get more toward tomorrow night. Could be radiational cooling, but tonight I don't think we get it. And tomorrow it's not going to be on the breezy side, and there may still be some fire risk because of that wind. Tonight, temperatures are going to drop down to probably upper teens to around 20 by morning, by sunrise. And then tomorrow, we're only going to see temperatures reach around the freezing mark. Probably 33, maybe 35 more toward south, maybe into Ocean County. Long Island probably more like in the low 30s to around freezing for highs. And it's going to be pretty chilly. And let's go look at our soundings here. I think we should be pretty good as far as the skies go. We'll look at that. Yeah, those lines are very far apart. So we should have nice skies tomorrow on Long Island. Probably pretty nice skies too as well. So it should be a pretty clear day. And we'll just go look at the RGM now and take a look at our cloud cover with this. And you can see it's fairly clear. The only thing is as we get into tomorrow night, there may be a little bit of passing high or mid-level cloudiness with a little disturbance, I guess. And again, I'll talk about that more tomorrow night. So that is going to wrap up this Long Island weather report. Thank you for watching. Oh, one more thing. We'll go and look at vent to sky and just look at the wind gusts. So as you can see, the wind gusts are pretty high right now. Let's go into tomorrow here. They will, by morning, we're still going to have winds gusting to around 25 miles an hour, 18 miles an hour at 9 a.m. It's not too bad. Long Island, still a little gusty. By 1 o'clock, gusts to 20 miles an hour, 20. We won't need a wind advisory tomorrow, but it'll be on the breezy side. And again, because of how dry things are, definitely concerned a little bit about the fire risk. They haven't really had issued a red flag warning for tomorrow yet, but it's possible one could be issued because we didn't really get much rain today. Things are very, very dry, and we have dry air, and it's breezy enough that we may see some more wildfires pop up. So that's it. Have a good night.